Good morning. It's a great pleasure and honor to come back to Kyoto and also share some of the ideas I'm working with you guys who are the world expert of the displays. So one of the themes today is Defy gravities. Gravity is something we accept without any questions, take it for granted. But a questioning about why we have to govern in a world with 1G, metaphorically, means a lot, especially in the era of rapid changes. So change really shapes the landscape very quickly in a very different way. And we are constantly asking where we are now and where we are heading for. But if in the middle, in the sea, on the board, you cannot really see the perspective. So you need to really take altitude, fly up high from an altitude of satellite, from where you can start seeing the macroscopic movement of the hurricane in this example. So in other words, how to gain the perspective to survive in the era of the constant change seems very important. In that effort, gaining the strong criteria is very important. For example, there was an amazing destruction last year, 311. The earthquake hit Japan, east part of Japan. That's followed by the tsunami and also nuclear crisis. So this really changed the landscape about the view about mediums or IT or people and the collaboration. But also crisis response strengthens us in a very good sense. So people are really desperate to connect people with people and information or resources. In that context, social media play a very critical role. How many people tweet every day? Okay. How many people have a Twitter account? Oh my gosh, okay. Anyway, so people really want to gain something ahead. Some people really want to volunteer their time and energy. So how do they connect those people is one of the key ideas. But the social media, because all the flood of the flow of information, really helps. Through these lessons, that's something we have to share. Making information open is fundamentally so important. Unless you cannot really do crowdsourcing, you cannot share with the people. Crowdsourcing is very important. For example, Google encourages people to shoot the photos of the roster in the evacuation site. It's handwritten. Then upload to Picasa. Then ask people to transcribe so that text becomes searchable. Mashup and curation is very important. Some people started all the great web pages, but the curation is very important to decrease the entropy. Also resilient market. For example, Amazon and Yahoo usually wish list what I want for the Christmas present. But this engine turned into the very critical engine to help people, evacuee, to host what they need. Then people can also buy those stuff, then deliver. So how do we make these ecosystems quickly in a crisis response is something very important. So I think to make world more resilient is something very important goal, rather than happy or rich or friendly or fun. And also to do so, I think that collective intelligence is something very important concept. Collecting all the power of the intelligence of people through communication and computation to unite, to deal with societal problems. That's exactly the vision that my hero, Doug Engelbart, came up more than 50 years ago, when computer was just used for calculating the trajectory of the missiles using mainframe computers. But he already envisioned the future of communication and computation with collective intelligence. So that's the power of the vision. So I think unless we have a vision, we cannot really survive in the rapid progress of technologies. I know you guys all know this history of amazing devices becoming smaller, smaller, and ubiquitous. But what's the current role of device? Devices are losing their power rapidly, becoming perfect. So I have a Canon cameras having an i5, which only capture the photons, then upload to Flickr or Evernote. But next year I buy a new camera perhaps, so I have no attachment to the camera. It can't be the keepsake object as my grandpa's camera. Also readers, Amazon Kindle, just download and read. So basically temporal readers Upload, download really matters. Most important thing, these are all the process. And even you have a very fancy front end like this one. In them, everything's in the cloud. It's not in a device. It's not any local cache. So whatever fancy display you have, people want to access to this information from any process. That's very important thing. So that's a part of the ubiquitous. And also a challenge. So I think the flow of the information is something very important perspective to understand. And information is a running water. We are now in the flood of the information. Also last evening, over the dinner, many people talked about we can't catch up all the flood of the emails. So that's true. But if you zoom out, you start seeing some big patterns. It's a river. So that's important ecosystems which penetrate through your handheld machine, servers, also cloud computation. This is a snapshot of my 2 years before I did snapshot. 10% of my gadget, geeks, tools or application I'm using. So long ago, only this PC or Mac like a continent exists. But now, cloud is playing critical roles. And also other variations like a smartphone or tablet. But fundamentally, most important thing is how to really keep all stuff in harmony, keeping information in the cloud, but making all the gadgets as a faucet up and down. Also, ecology gives us a lot of important perspective to understand the critical moment. So we are now living on the planet Earth. There are a lot of the food chain. So some animals are eaten by other predators. So they circulate all the materials. But also in the world of the information, you can think about those gadgets had very critically important role in the past. But now, focus is shifting to this stuff. So when I die, maybe I give my password of the Flickr to my girls instead of the cameras. So that is a tremendous shift because all the information, memory of family is in the cloud, including Picasso's and the Facebook and the Twitter and the email and the schedules and also Evernote. Evernote is very interesting, also impressive tools. How many people using Evernote? It's very powerful extended memory of your stuff. So again, coming back to this flow, where you are, where you're heading for. Display is a very critical component, but necessary condition, not a satisfactory condition to enable the fluid flow of the information. And one most important thing is the concept of circulation. This case is waters. Cloud hits the mountains, become rain, and water, river, oceans, and evaporation. It's constantly circulating. Information is also same. You know the concept of meme. All our genes are disseminated using our bodies as a vehicle. That's a very radical idea. But in a similar sense, my tweets want to be retweeted. It's not metaphorically, but information want to be shared. That's a new era of the internet. Also, all of you guys are doing an amazing job battling in a very fierce market. So understand the food chain is very important. So where you are now? A few years ago, there's amazing articles in the Business Week saying, who ate my lunch? So a company in Scandinavia was about to eat lunch, but the lunch is gone because the company in Cupertino already ate it. But it's constantly changing. So which lunch you're going to eat after my talk? Is lunch still there? Who is trying to steal your lunch? Well, who can create new pie instead of competing for the existing lunch, like a zero-sum game? So I think the important thing is that change is very disruptive, especially the big shift from a planned economy to the free market made all this change. So there's no dominance of the one big company or government. So fundamentally, it's a battlefield. In the battlefield, there's so many warriors fighting each other. Then standard is not anymore kind of a documents produced in Geneva, for example. So basically, the guy who won the war determined the standard. So I'm sure you guys know the battles of these two guys. How many people saw this TV commercial? Yeah, I liked it a lot. Also, you know, these guys now working, fighting, although Steve's gone. And also Facebook created a huge black hole, which Google cannot index or search. That's another big battle. So all the battles are fought in a very high altitude. And unfortunately, I don't see any airplanes from Asia. So I think another important thing is speed. Agile development is something very critical. It's obvious. So this is a slide I borrowed from Joe Ito, who is the new director of MIT Media. This is a past. Long ago, or maybe still today, government or large companies meet in certain place in Europe, for example, then discuss about what the world should be. They make a huge document, a spec, then start implementing, then deploy. But often it becomes too late. The world changes. People don't write the documents, but the people write the code. Code is a document, code is a spec. It's very agile, not fragile, agile and fast and very flexible. So let me introduce three quotes. Small pieces loosely joined, David Weinberger. Unless completely centralized, we cannot control the quality, for example. You can't ensure the quality. But ensuring the perfect quality is already old idea. Small pieces loosely joined. Also, it's not a perfect document or spec, but rough consensus and learning code. That's the culture of the internet. David Clark. And Lawrence Lessig, code is law. So each has a very significant implication about paradigm shift. So device, display are not intact. Also, many people have a strong belief that my technology is great. So it's an engine. This may revolutionize the world. That might be true, or may not be true, if it's just necessary conditions. This is all the metaphor, but it's a great engine. So you can invent amazing engine, the display or graphic stuff. But unless you have an aircraft to install this engine, it doesn't really affect to the world. But also to carry all these aircraft to the battlefield, you need a mothership like this one. But also mothership have certain weakness about attack from the air or sea or submarine. So they need a fleet. So this is a system. But then you have to really understand what's going in the state of the war. So that is an old picture from the World War II. Unless you have a perspective, also leadership, a judgment, strategy. So that's the whole reasons we use very simple chart, but starting whole discussions. Because everything is part of the ecosystem, including displays and informations. Because changes are very disruptive. It can kill or sink the continent over the night. But on the other hand, this can be the amazing opportunity of the creation or innovation, disruptive innovation. So basically, I'd like to send an encouraging message to you guys to think together, to understand the dramatic change of today and how to really envision the future. So, as I wrote in the paper and also the abstract, the theme is the power of the visions. This is a picture of the very famous woodcut printing by Hochschild. So you can see after the Lehman shock. By the way, I'm a professor, and a scientist, and an engineer, artist, designer, but also businessman. I have to fundraising. But after the Lehman shock, many sponsor companies started leaving. So I have to work hard for retention, but in a very heavy, rapid way. But here you see the mountain Fuji, which doesn't move, stay still. That's something I see the vision over there. So technology is very important, enabling power. However, it becomes obsolete in 1 year. If you see amazing technologies today, in Akihabara, for example, next year, most of them are gone to the landfill, Yumenoshima or somewhere. User needs is important. Many people do a great job on needs finding or questionnaire or marketing research or observation study. But the user do not know, cannot think about the future of 100 years. They can tell about problems they are facing with, but that's not the future. So future has to come from us, maybe designer or researcher or visionaries. Because the lifespan, technology very short. Of course, you can put a lot of energy on the technology, but then technology can be obsolete. The new technology comes. User needs also constantly change. LP, CD, MP3, cloud streaming. But vision, like Barnabas Bush mimics, or Douglas Engelbart collective intelligence, definitely will survive more than our lifespan, more than 100 years. That's the reasons, because I used to be in the industry before I moved to MIT, so I'm now enjoying the vision-driven research, mainly getting the inspiration from the arts. So I spent Saturday and Sunday in Kyoto, visiting many amazing temples and shrines, and I was so excited to get so much stimulus. Art was driving to think about the new vision. So vision and technology is very important. Having vision in your mind or charged electrons in the clouds, then metals on the ground, that technology, then you see all of a sudden lightning happens. So that's the moment of the creation, invention of a new application or a new service for me. Without vision, just focusing technology, it's very difficult to make sense of this technology for the people. So regarding vision, I did 3 rounds of the vision-driven research. First, seamless media. Before I went to MIT, I was working for one of the biggest telecommunication and telephone and also telegraph corporation. Anyway. So after I moved to MIT, I did contribute. Then recently I started radical atoms. I'd like to introduce very quickly about trajectory of this research as examples of vision-driven research. So first vision is seamless. Many technologies bring unnecessary cognitive seeds or discontinuity, like Macintosh doesn't talk to Windows, or physical document paper is incompatible of the Microsoft Word, or RS-232C cable doesn't speak to SCSI or USB, of course, or all the incompatibility. So that's the reason I want to address how I can provide a seamless media over distance. So I love drawing, and even after I grew up, I keep drawing, because I'm a visual thinker. How many people always, every day, sketching on the sketchbook? Well, not so many. But I think architects, or designers, or artists, or making, may love those sketching. So first system I developed with the teamwork sessions, which allow people to overlay all the information. Now you see my hands, physical document, analog ink, and the computer live screen. So let me show the quick.
We have presented an evolution of our media design from Team Workstation to Clear Face to Clear Board. Team Workstation provides distributed users with a seamless shared workspace. Each user can continue to use favorite application programs or desktop tools, so there is only a minor cognitive seam between the individual and shared workspaces. Using this translucent video overlay technique, real-time information, such as hand gestures and handwritten comments, can be shared, as well as information contained in printed materials and computer files. In order to solve the space problem in the shared screen, we devised a new multi-user interface technique called Clear Face that features translucent live face windows over shared workspace. In order to integrate the shared workspace and the interpersonal space seamlessly, we designed Clearboard. Clearboard 1 permits coworkers in 2 different locations to draw with color markers while maintaining direct eye contact and the use of natural gestures. Through experiments, we found the new feature of gaze awareness. In order to offer new functions, such as recording of working results, easy manipulation of marks, and the use of data held in computer files, we designed a computer drawing version, Clearboard 2. Clearboard 2 supports shared drawing with Team Paint and electronic pens. We have presented the evolution of our research activities, from Team Workstation to Clear Face to Clearboard. The key concept is seamlessness.
So seamless is a means to identify the issues, then I tackle. So this is a clear board. You see what your partner is gazing at. This is another installation in Tokyo in 2000 ICC. So I'm not drawing, but my partner can see my gaze very precisely. It's not eye contact, more than eye contact. So my partner knows which portion I'm interested in or gazing at. So of course this is a display, but this is a medium to connect two space, then allow interaction, and both input and output. So display might be a bit limited concept because usually it's imply one-way emission of the photons. So my goal is how to relate to the two spaces. In the left side, or the group air or whiteboard picture. It's a talking heads, TV phone, or video conferencing. They are completely isolated, but spatially integrated. So also I made vision videos and presenting the TED form. So these are all the important collaboration media. So display surface becomes very important drawing surface, but also shared drawing surface. So let me show the very, but by the way, after 20 years, this project I introduced in 20 years old, and I did it in NTT. But now, recently, we resumed our challenge to the remote collaboration. So this is a piano as an interface. So now you can see piano itself becomes a medium of tele-teaching or tele-instructions, or duet over distance, or playing recorded videos using piano as a medium. Also, I think how to get at the numerical, incremental, or quantitative measure is something important. Many people still aiming at higher and higher resolutions beyond the human cognitive capabilities. People cannot really distinguish 4,000 and 6,000. So we came up with a very different strategy. Let's diminish realities. Let's lower the resolutions. So by doing so, you can really let people focus on the important part. This is a teleconference, but she's speaking, and so people speaking get like a spotlight or resolution. Now, group is running on this iPad, but now she's grabbing its brain, so this is augmented. So this is a combination of first diminish, then removing all the clutter, the background. Also, people are not participating in the meetings. So these techniques really allow you to make less is more, diminish and augment. That's something very important because value of the image is not highest resolution from every pixel. Most important thing is how to focus to the most important portion, how to use display to help people. Also 3D is something very important. So we lots of the project using a handheld device in a physical space, but now he's creating virtual objects using gesture interaction with infrastructure or G-Speak. How many people know G-Speak? Okay, how many people saw the movie Minority Report? That idea came from my group. John the Conqueror, first my PhD student made a Harry, then made a Minority Report, came up with ideas, technical ideas, became advisor. So, but now you can see all the creation of the materials. But now people can do collaborative in the space. This is collocated, but it could be also over distance. So embodied spatial interaction and the collaboration is something very exciting in new direction. So I think all the people doing the display is based on the one paradigm, GUI, pixels. Representation of information in terms of pixels. So that's, I think, a starting point of most of the displays, as far as I know. But 18 years ago, I started a new challenge called tangible bits. So how to blur the boundary between physical and digital is a common theme. But we came up with the idea that, okay, let's really physical object, but let this object cast digital shadow. But also let's project digital light. Let's use a surface. And also there are other metaphor like a mirror, or windows, with more like augmented reality. These are all great, but we focus on tangible. So materials, digital information, and interact with directly. So either in charge, but hands are unemployed. Screen fundamentally to emit the photon to shoot the retina of the users, absorb information passively, not actively. But you guys, engineer, designer, have to express the idea. Then you have the body, hands. So how to really change this imbalance is the key. Also, representation knowledge, like orari, is very interesting because all this movement of the planet around the sun can be experimented using your body as an engine. You grab this hand crank, then rotate, so everything is moved using your body as an engine. This is very powerful coupling of embodiment. Another example, abacus. How many people can use abacus, compute with abacus? Not so many. The abacus has a power, transparency, all the digits are represented as physical beads, which you can directly touch and manipulate. So, for example, we use the sand as a means for the sculpting. So sculpting sand, computer captures the geometries. Then we can use a landscape design. For example, this is using a sand. This is an installation in Ars Electronica in this Austria. But the people are sculpting sand. Then computer immediately calculates the height. Then projects, this is a water drainage, the vector, how water runs down. So this is a model, also input surface, and also display surface. So here you see in a tangible world, there's no boundary between input and output, or display and the control, and also representation. So that's the power of tangible. Also light and shadow. So this is an example called up, using IO bar. It's an invention of John Cochrane. He actually made minor report ideas later. He put a physical wireframe model of the building, turn on the light source called IO bar, then shadow is casted. But this shadow is computation, digital. Then of course you can move the building and the shadow falls. This is also 18 years old work, but this is the beginning of tabletop surface computing using tangent. Now still most people just doing the multi-touch, but touchscreen is so old. But combining the physicality makes sense because horizontal, so gravity is a friend. Then you can also control the explore the inter-shadow problems, for example, or light reflections, or window simulations. If you use the buildings, boundary condition change, then we calculate Navier-Stokes equation, then visualize. Also have some fun project, like ping pong. How many people play ping pong? Seriously? Seriously? Oh, that's one. Okay. Anyway, this is an installation from year 2000 in ICC. But you can see the water is covered on the surface of the ping pong tables. Or you can create comments. Comments hit the net, that sound make a sound. Or you can also make a thunderstorm if you continue the rally. So these are all about interactive surface. Of course, it's a display, but also sensor surface. How to make social interaction like a play people more exciting, interesting, beyond zero-sum game is the key. So now we have a new version we implemented using an open source hardware, and also processing. That's a programming language invented by the alumni of John Mayer. So these are kids from my girls' kindergartens. So most beautiful girl is mine. If you find my girl, I can invite you to the MIT Media Lab. So this is an interactive table. Also we do lots of stuff like music. So computer music is great, but not so exciting to see the program. Because all the people bring a personal computer from distance, you can't tell. These people are doing the email or everything pre-recorded, then just they're hitting the play button. But here, we specially represented the interaction. For example, this is a microphone, conceptually. This is the source of the sound. These are all the parameters, 200 or 400 interactions simultaneous. Then people can control this music, then really change the way people enjoy the music. It's not a video jockey, random videos, but there's a meaningful content over there. So painting is something very important for us, and we do a lot of the paintings. And also these are, let me go see. So this is a project called Airbrush using a painting has an important means to interact with the surface. How many people paint using a watercolor or oil? Not too many? Okay. Hope your kids do. So painting really matters. Painting is really great means to express your ideas. But usually you paint with the ink given by your parents or teachers, or you go to the shop. Instead, we encourage kids to explore the world, create their ink, pigments. In the era of Renaissance, the artists, painters were also color makers. They went to the nature to find the right color. Now you saw the specific color because of all the emotional vibe and the story you can weave into the final piece. So how to let kids bring their own emotional attachment or stories into the final painting is something very interesting for us. And following the practice in the Renaissance era, we create this system. If you go to the whole food market, you see all the beautiful foods to buy and eat. But here, you can see the possibility that the Kyoto is now full of the beautiful coloring. So you get inspired. What kind of painting you can make using a photo of coloring of Kyoto to make your art piece of the memory of the Kyoto, for example. And of course, you can get all the reactive emotions easily using physical movement of the brush, target object, and the screen. But important thing is this is not a painting, more than painting. Painting is a dead ink stuck on a 2D surface from cave painting, but now you see here is a teddy bear from which color came from. So now every stroke has a history, an origin. So third dimension, z-axis, and the spike. So that means something different from painting. So let's ask kids, how does she interpret this new axis? So this is a very important moment for me as an international designer. And this is not just a display, it's not just a content, not a drawing, but all the inspiration and the creation which came from these kids who played with airbrush, may be very inspired by this scene. This is a picture I took in the Barcelona. All the stores is presenting amazing palettes. So last piece, radical atoms. I like tangible bits, but the bits are very malleable. You can make bits dance, but the atom is very rigid. So we just published the article in this journey in International Magazine. So hope you can download. I got dozen copies, but let me show the examples. So display is great. You can make 3D display, 2D surface. But these are all the fake, of course. It's a fake. But we're now developing the variety of the shape display, real 3D physical display. So now you can project the histories of the mountain, for example. Then you can really transform. And also, we are developing a lot of new interaction technique. So you can directly touch and press or pull those new digital physical plane. But also you can use mid-air gesture like this to define the area, select, then apply command like lifting up. So this new interaction with information. So this is not a display, but include display as a key component. But more than that, interaction. In then, you need to feel I'm controlling, I have precision. That's so important for the expression of the artist's style. This is a summary. Basically, virtual model, digital model, and also physical representation. But these are synchronized. And also, you can make all the memory, restoring the memory. If mountain used to be under the water. Also, you can do time navigation using tangible controller here. then you can also directly sculpt those features. Then immediately results are feedback to digital and vice versa. So this is a bidirectional coupling of digital and physical. So that's an early prototype of the radical atoms. But also we are doing more radical ones, like anti-gravity materials, because gravity sucks, because we are bound to the ground. So we invented a new material called Kyoto, which has three features. First, you can press anywhere in the space, and then it stays there, like a copy and paste. Number two, computer knows exact position of this zero material. Number three, computer can also move. So now you see computational shadow is casting, knowing location to this object. So now both human and the computer can intervene and move these materials. So using this one, you can really explore very different things. And a bit like a plastic, invention of plastic made amazing malleable static form for every product design. But now these dynamic new materials revolutionize the concept of product design or interaction design. But also raise a lot of interesting academic questions. By the way, this is Kepler's law, planet rotating using velocity speed constant. But also this very constant, floating zero versus old Orari, which is better. I choose the old Orari because affordance. Orari clearly tell which orbit the planet really move. That gives much of a peace of the mind. So this is called affordance. There's a lot of interesting research issues which nobody ever solved before. So also we are exploring new concepts like a perfect rate to explore those ideas. So these are future materials you grab from the innovating clay. But this, you guys know shape memory arrows. Shape memory arrows is like a wire. But we came up with hypothetical material, which is shape memory of 3D. So as CAD software often snaps the grid by physical deformation around these materials snap to the canonical form. And also there's some magical interaction that we are now working on so that we can replicate. These are all the atoms, but future have all the intelligence and some can be like features. So using these features, you can really change the way to design because materials have the memories and the instructions and also behavior because digital shadow is behind and embedded. Still a lot of unsolved problems to materials and those ideas, but we are very excited about this conceptual and concept-driven, result-driven research. Today, radical atoms doesn't exist. So you can't do anything for the real text. But we can emulate a lot of this stuff using the shape memory or these visual videos. And in the end, the very important moment. So this is my daughter. It's cute. That's the point. Okay, so I talked about radical atoms. And they also show the trajectory from GUI to radical atoms. Today, still all the pixels behind the thick glass. You cannot do anything except you have a mouse or keyboard or touch screen. But you're not touching the information, just touching the surface of the screen. So it's not real touch. So how to really go beyond is my key ideas. And I think to do so, important things are having a new perspective, it's a vision. And long ago, people observed the universe using the naked eyes. Invention of the telescope dramatically expanded the scope. Then observatory really enhanced our eyes. However, until Hubble Space Telescope took off from the Earth, real evolution didn't start. Now it's like eyes are decoupled from head and flying through. So Voyagers, pioneers, all these spaceships went to far away, then looking back, then allowing us to reflect about ourselves and us. So today, I talked about the vision-driven research towards futures. And I really appreciate that IDWs invited me to the talk, especially Professor Omotani. I really thank you. I have a plan of 2050. I go somewhere else, in theory. And also 2100 altogether, unfortunately. But the future doesn't end by my departure or departures. 2200, still many people living. So how do you want to be remembered by the people living in 2000? What will you leave for them if you are the real creator or innovators? So end of the next quarters or retirement or death is not end. So after life, there are eternal futures for which we are responsible. So hope we can really continue the effort of design and innovation towards futures beyond our lifespan. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Professor Ishii. We should now know value beyond display hardware for the innovative development of our field. Thanks, speaker, again. Thank you.